The evolution of absence. There is a moment, brother, when the silence between you and her shifts. It's no longer a chasm of awkwardness. It becomes a space of peace. Her name stops illuminating your screen, and the lack of a call doesn't hurt. You cease waiting for that text, that apology, that final explanation, because at your core, you realize you don't need it anymore. That's the hinge point. That's when the dynamic truly inverts. The undeniable truth is this: the instant you no longer require her presence, that is the exact instant her mind registers your absence. This isn't fueled by hatred or driven by revenge. This is evolution. You have outgrown the self that was desperate for her acknowledgement. You have secured peace within your own solitude. And that very peace is what shatters her equilibrium. Let's dissect what really unfolds when she grasps that you are complete without her. 1. The energy signature flips. First, she feels the energy shift. Women are highly tuned to energy. They sense your frequency before you utter a single syllable. When you were pursuing her, she perceived the chase. When you waited for her reply, she felt the anticipation. That subtle layer of hope, the slight desperation, it was all an open book to her. But when you sever that need, the frequency changes. Your presence becomes calm, self-possessed, and unpredictable. You're no longer in orbit around her. You are simply present, yet fundamentally detached. This is confusing. The attention she once treated as an entitlement is gone, and she can't articulate why she suddenly misses the things she habitually disregarded. 2. Her manipulation tools fail. Second, her established methods of validation cease to function. Previously, a cryptic social media post, a suggestive hint, or a casual "hey" was enough to draw you back in. You took the bait. You replied. Now you don't even twitch. You clearly recognize the action for what it is: a test of her lingering relevance. When she realizes her familiar tricks are ineffective, the panic begins. Her concern isn't truly about losing you. It's about losing her ability to influence you. A man who cannot be emotionally manipulated is a man she instantly respects, regardless of whether she ever admits it. 3. She recalls your stability. Third, she begins to replay the memory of your calmness. Perhaps she failed to value your stability, mistaking your consistency for monotony. But when she ventures back into a world saturated with drama, chaos, and fleeting validation, she makes a profound realization. You weren't boring. You were peace. You were the kind of man who didn't feel the need to posture, who provided a sense of safety without uttering a word. This memory will strike her hardest not during social nights, but in the quiet moments, when the noise retreats and the truth settles. Fourth, her ego wages war against her genuine feelings. Her ego demands denial, that she doesn't care, that she's perfectly fine, that she certainly doesn't miss you. Yet her emotions are truthful. Every time she searches to see if you've moved on, every time she checks your activity, every time she wonders if she's been replaced, that is her ego losing ground. She is now observing something new, a man who is neither furious nor pursuing nor resentful, just finished. That level of self-contained peace is deeply unsettling because it signals that she is no longer the gravitational center of your emotional universe. And when a woman truly feels that, it is an impression that lasts. 5. The final test of silence. Fifth, she attempts to probe your silence. At this junction, most women will execute subtle maneuvers to test your detachment. Maybe a text, "How have you been?" or a small, innocuous comment, purely to gauge your reaction. This is where many men falter. They mistakenly interpret it as a desire to reconcile. It is not. It is a probe. She's checking for any remaining hold. Your maintained silence isn't a punishment. It is your boundary. When you hold that boundary firm, she realizes a powerful truth. Your internal peace is more sacred to you than her temporary presence. That is the origin of respect, quiet and internal. 6. The real man emerges. 6th, she finally gains clarity on who you genuinely were. When you were accessible, she only processed what she wanted to see. Perhaps you seemed too agreeable, too available, too simple. But when you disengage with dignity, when you stop reacting, chasing, and justifying, her vision clears. She begins to remember the significant details: your attentiveness, your genuine support, your unwavering consistency. She begins to realize that few others offer the depth of what you contributed. This is not a confession she will make to you, but a silent, lingering realization. 7. The illusion dissolves. 7th, your own perspective sharpens. Something internal changes for you as well. You recognize that your pursuit was never about her approval. It was about a faulty belief in what her love represented. You were chasing validation and closure to affirm your own self-worth. The moment you released your need for her, you reclaimed that worth from within. You begin to see her rejection not as a wound, but as a redirection. She served a purpose in your growth. She taught you precisely the type of man you will never be again: dependent, reactive, emotionally volatile. That lesson is invaluable. 8. You become unreachable. 8th, you quietly ascend to the version of you she never anticipated. This rise is without fanfare. No announcements, no revenge glow up. Just peace, discipline, and focus. Your silence hardens into strength. Your past pain converts into purpose. You stop chasing love and begin to embody it. When she witnesses this, when she realizes the man she once overlooked has become the man she subconsciously desired, that is when she experiences the full weight of the loss. Because you are now unreachable, not through anger, but through evolution. So, if you are currently in the process of letting go, questioning your value, understand this. The moment you stop needing her is the moment she finally feels your significance. Not because you sought to hurt her, but because you retook your power. The peace you forged in silence is your closure. It is your growth. It is your ultimate victory without ever having to lift a finger. Because the truth remains. When she realizes you don't need her anymore, she finally understands what she lost. And you finally understand what you gained. If you would like to support us in our charitable donation campaign by clicking "Thank you very much" below the video, I would be very grateful to you and be a partner with us in making people happy.